looked at that picture again, I was like, get the fuck to the gym, man. Get there, get it done. But that also lit a fire on my ass, big time. I'm AJ Morris. I'm 29 years old. I'm a natural bodybuilder. I'm an online coach. I've been in the fitness industry for just over a decade now. I started competing in 2014. My first competition was as a teenager. Competed through my teens, juniors, into the men's open, and also at the same time have built my entire life around natural bodybuilding. So when people think, who is AJ Morris? A lot of people will relate it just, AJ Morris is natural bodybuilding. It's my work, it's my life. I share my passion with my partner Loz. I'm lucky to train out of one of the best gyms in the UK, Ultraflex Rotherham. I've lived here for the last 3-4 years. I grew up in Brighton, so I've lived in the UK my whole life. I had a fantastic upbringing, was very heavily involved in motorsport growing up, which proved to be a fantastic foundation for my career, not only from an athlete perspective, but also from a business standpoint too. So yeah, that's me. That's who I am.
It's funny because when a lot of people watch my YouTube, they see the different side of AJ that I see a lot of the time, where he is a bit silly. He's not always super serious and super dialed in. Like, yeah, he's focused and he cares about his goals and what he wants to achieve. But he is also, to me, he is my AJ in a lot of ways, and he is silly. But that being said, I see the work that goes on behind the scenes that nobody else sees. His clients get the happy version of AJ. On social media, you see AJ when, he's getting after it in the gym and he feels good and he's attacking his sets. I see when, especially in prep, like, he's absolutely dead on the sofa. He's got no words to give to me because he's given all the energy that he has got. I know that in a prep setting, outside of everything that he's putting into his work, he does what he needs to do to get the work done. But at the same time, I don't complain about that because that's what I sign up for.
When AJ was growing up, he was unsurprisingly quite competitive at many things. I didn't imagine him entering bodybuilding competitions, strangely. That came out of nowhere. As far as me and his mum were concerned, it was a real surprise. But I'm not surprised he ended up doing well at what he does. Well, it started with racing down a hill near where we lived on a freewheeling device which oversteered like mad. So he'd do crazy slides down this hill where we lived, which was great fun. And he sort of had some kind of bug for motorsport. He's always into cars and stuff. And as soon as he got a taste for that, he was really into it. And from that moment onwards, got into sport, competitive sport, motorsport through karting, and loved it, and did quite well at it as well.
Honestly, it right now, so we're sitting like 3-4 days post-show, it honestly doesn't feel like it's actually over. I think the main reason behind that is simply down to the fact that it was a very long contest preparation. I was 28 weeks out from the Heart of England. I was going to start at 25. I'm really glad that I actually ended up giving myself 28 because I needed the 28. Added up total, I think by the last day of preparation, which was the show day for the Two Bros Pro Show, I was 294 days deep into contest preparation. So a very long one, but a very fruitful one. And yeah, it doesn't almost feel like it's over just yet. I think the adrenaline is still very high. And I think partially because I finished at this time of the year, which is very unusual for me. Normally I finish at the back end of the year where all the shows are done. And right now, I'm so invested in like all of my athletes' preps that are like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, that I feel like I'm still almost in it with them. So it feels very different in comparison to previous preps where I'll finish, but everyone else will be finished too. It's a little interesting, but it's good. I actually really prefer it this way. I mean, the hardest part for me, if I'm being honest, was actually in the lead up to the Heart of England, the pressure that I was putting on myself. 100%. That's when my sleep was the worst because it was not sleep effects from the constant preparation or from low body fat levels or anything like that. My sleep stayed pretty stable, apart from the usual like going to bed earlier than you'd normally expect or waking up earlier, which you can't really slow that down that much. It just happens when you get peeled, it just happens. I don't think you can fully get away from that. Yeah, it was the pressure. It was the pressure for the first show. I really wanted to win that one. I think people who watched that first return to stage video that we put on YouTube will understand how much that contest meant to me. After I did that, I really did feel a big weight off of my shoulders, and every show actually ended up getting a little easier because they're kind of just icing on top of what was already a very fruitful cake, you know? It was a great season. I'd already got the clarification and momentum from that first show that I was bringing an improved package to the stage, and I was really happy with how I looked in some ways. Obviously, you're always critical. But yeah, it was the lead up into the first show.
I do think the one thing that people don't realise or see about AJ is that he is just a person, like he is just AJ. And that's why when I ever talk about him, and I find it funny, people joke like, oh, AJ Morris, but he is just AJ, he's just a person, he is just human. He does have difficult moments, he does have challenges. He's spoken very openly as well about the difficult moments that he had in his last off-season when he had that injury, and that was really hard. Like, he had a lot of really hard days and hard moments where I really struggled, even myself, you know, trying to be there for him. And people don't see that, and he didn't talk about that at the time either. People can think that he is just bulletproof, and don't get me wrong, he has one of the strongest mentalities that I've ever seen, but he has hard moments. Like, we are all human, and especially in his prep, you know, coaching yourself is not easy. I try to be a part of that, but I have to give him a lot of reassurance. He has moments of self-doubt, and this is the key thing though, is that he does have moments, and this is where he does separate himself, in the sense that, and I think we can all separate ourselves from that, and I've learned from that, we can all learn from this, is that you have moments of difficulty, you have moments of self-doubt, but you don't let them define you. And that's what he inspires a lot of us with, I think. But he has had those challenging moments. Like, that pressure does weigh on you, and I think whenever you see or you think, you know, someone via social media, you just think that they're not, you just don't think they're a real person, to be honest. You don't think they feel the pressure, you don't think they see the negative comments, you don't think that they see the things that people say, but they do, and they still feel those things. And it is very easy to forget that, and you deal with that because at the end of the day, he's very grateful for everything that he has, and he's never the person to moan about it. He tells me he doesn't feel pressure all the time, but I know he feels pressure. It's only natural to feel pressure. It is that famous quote, like, pressure is a privilege, and it is a privilege. You can either use pressure to break you, or you can use it as fuel, and he lives in those pressure moments, and he's always been able to thrive in them. And I think some people are just naturally born to thrive in those moments. So he feels the pressure, but he has learned to own that pressure and use that to his advantage, I think, more than anything.
Many people. Nico Hulkenberg.
I literally just think it's a big flop. I've gone for a team, and that team.
This living thing.
All right, touchdown in Maidenhead. Long drive, of which I did half, but I prefer driving because I don't like watching Loz suffer, to be honest. She's a very interesting character at the helm of a car.
Let's make that clear.
She doesn't complain, but she gets a little aggy, and then that gets me aggy. So it actually keeps me lower stress to just do the driving myself. So that was fun. Now we're at Tesco, get a few little bits. Honestly, food-wise today has been very low for me, partially due to just making weight, which I'll make at 5 p.m. after tanning. And yeah, also down to just like landing a sharper look for this weekend. So, but the look's been very consistent. I was really happy with how I looked this morning. Loz was also very happy because she's been looking at me every morning, just keeping an eye, making sure I don't do anything silly, because That's normally what I do, is do something silly. Funnily enough, it's always something to make me look, not necessarily better, but it's something that I feel like makes things harder. I normally try and make things excessively hard for myself, which is not what you want to do in the final few days. Yeah, we'll see what we can grab here. Just a few simple bits, and then we will head off to the Airbnb, give you a little bit of a tour, and then we will go off to tanning and registration.
We can get some obviously more. I'm getting this first.
Ooh, it's nice and cold.
Right. Very nice.
Fucking hell. Feels way bigger. Whoa. That is the weirdest desk I've ever seen. I think, to be honest, guys, I'm just going to just go in here and just pass out. Perfect TV. This is like a cinema room. It did say it had a cinema room, so this is the cinema room. Chilled. What's in here? Bedroom.
And this lovely Fania chicane. That's fabulous in any car.
Piastri 4/10, and then he's 6/10 faster than Norris. Yes. All right. Registration complete. Number 341. 69 kilos. Perfect. So more hydrated, more food than last time. Last time I weighed in at like a very, very, very depleted 68. So that was perfect. That's exactly where I wanted to be, is like just dipping into the lightweights without having to do anything aggressive. So we're ready for tomorrow. First layer, well actually third layer of tanner, because Loz has already done 2 before I got this layer on. Kindly done by Loz, so I'm going to be dark as Nick Walker at the Arnold 2021 is the goal. If anyone knows that look from Nick, it was like, oh, mega. So yeah, going to get a couple more meals in. Well, basically do a meal, wait a bit, pose, do a meal, wait a bit, pose, and then we'll see whether it's just 2 or maybe 3 meals before we go to bed tonight, and then game time tomorrow morning. So yeah, we got to get back, get some food in, relax. Peace out.
Did you have any moments of doubt or setback?
Honestly, this season, not really. I think maybe after the World Championships, where I placed 6th, and I was expecting to get a shot of maybe being the first call out, I was like, oh. But that also lit a fire up my ass, big time. Literally the evening after that show, I was out getting in steps, trying to improve. The morning after, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, I couldn't sleep. So I got up, I listened to client check-ins, and I got out and I walked, and I trained legs with Ben super hard. And I went straight back into what I needed to do next with the diet. You know, no days off, 0 days off mentality. And that's the way that I'll always approach things, off-season, pre-contest. It's just my mentality is like, try and find a way to be better. So as much as it was a little bit like, I would have liked to have been higher, it was an opportunity to be like, I need to do something to be better. As much as that did bring in a bit of doubt, it also fired me up so much.
What's your proudest moment of enjoying this season?
Heart of England, 100%. That was such a build-up to that show. I was stressed going into that show, not because I didn't believe in him. I had the full faith in him that he was going to do exactly what he intended to do, but I knew how badly he wanted it. And I knew how hard he'd worked for that. I mean, he wanted to do that last year and he couldn't do it last year. There were a lot of moments throughout the entirety of last year where he said to me, I'm never bodybuilding again. I'm never going to compete again. I'm never going to be able to train as I want to again. And I had a lot of moments where I kind of, in a lot of ways, blindly had to just say, you are going to do that. I didn't know if he was going to do it. He could have genuinely had an injury where he was never going to make it back. But I had to have that belief and have that faith in him to actually see him then get to that moment, get to the point that he has worked so hard for and actually achieve that was immense. When he won that overall, that was by far the proudest moment I've had.
Stuff. Alonso has taken all the downforce off the car and he currently is in 8th position.
He's ninth, but he's going to be safe. So it's Norris or Lawson in SQ2.
I didn't really expect anyone to let me do it. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Like, just have fun and enjoy it. I think that's really like, I think the core values of the.
Piss now. Cheers guys, 264 days of prep and we're knocking it back with some finest Glens. Cheers. Some vibes.
Seen your back shots as
Yeah, I have, yeah.
like
Fullness is good.
the fullness is so
Fullness
made
is
you look
actually
so
really
much
good.
better.
I think we should just hydrate and hold this actually. Because what I don't want to do is like, don't do carbs in meal one and then flatten out a bit with the excitement and moving around and stuff and then try to put some in pre-stage which won't really do much.
Yeah, it's quite common to be a little bit delirious at this
Hate
time
those
of the morning.
things.
And I was like, why is like brothers and sisters out here at 3 a.m. like these really small children? And yeah, it's just, oh man, this just weirded me out.
So I slept really well guys, but I'm not going to lie to you. My sleep stack at current is basically a walking relaxant. It's like, you know, dream sleep, unwind, antihistamine, vodka. Yeah, I don't, fucking hell. It sounds like I use vodka all the time. No. Just the night before the show, calm the nerves. and I'll have a little bit pre-stage. Fucking hell.
That's what he likes to say. Every night he's been on the body this prep.
I'm actually, imagine if I form like a fucking alcohol addiction after this prep. AJ10. Go use it. Favorite isopro flavor. Caramel biscuit. Caramel bicky. One thing that always grinds my gears is when people ask like a question like, so you probably see me put egg whites in oats and lick the spoon when the egg whites are raw. They're pasteurized, it's fine. Is when people say like, they'll look at something like that and be like, is egg whites nice in oats? And I'm like, you know what, no. You know what, no, they're not. But that's why I eat it. So I just hate them, they're horrible. It's like rhetorical questions like that. Does anyone else relate to that in prep? The patience for rhetorical questions just absolutely plummets, unfortunately. So I'm sure in the same boat. Sometimes you need to apologise to your better half when you react in a very childish way sometimes. But that's not me all the time. Loz will say in her lovely interview that she's going to do that I'm the best guy in the world.
I think when you're in a relationship and you're both heavily passionate about bodybuilding, it can go one of two ways, because sometimes that passion is too much, or sometimes you both being very tunnel vision can be difficult. And it's where we've found a very good balance with how we give and take a little bit at different points. Like, we know that when one of us is in prep or the other isn't, or one of us is focused on a specific goal, we know that one of us has to give more than the other one is able to give, and one of us is taking more than the other one is able to take. I wouldn't be able to equally be with somebody who didn't understand bodybuilding in the way that I do, because it is often hard to comprehend. Bodybuilding is one of those things that it's not like you're just passionate about cars, or you're just passionate about another sport that you play on the weekends. Like, it encompasses every minute of your life, like it really does. And every day, there's no off switch, there's no time to really switch off, not with the way that we like to approach things anyway. So it's something that you have to find a balance with.
You know, me and Loz got together in 2020. So 2021, you know, that's pretty fresh relationship, pretty fresh environment, living together, and the contest prep. Don't get me wrong, she's the most understanding girl in the world. She's absolutely fantastic, and she was fantastic in 21. But the fact that we have so many years of, you know, being together and also at the same time going to shows, Loz seeing the standard at every single level, her ability to actually be an eye and be a support, be even more supportive than 2021 in numerous different ways. I'd honestly say that hands down is the biggest game changer. That's the reason why I ended up looking at certain points significantly improved, is because of her eye and her aid and her help, alongside the fact that obviously I'd taken a pretty long off season, the longest off season that I'd taken in my entire bodybuilding career, really. The combination of those factors led to you know, the physique that was on stage that was significantly upgraded since 21. So those two were the key, like environment and then also the time that I'd invested in the off season, big changes. A tip for self-coach people, definitely, but then also competitors that need to remind yourself of like your day routines, what you did. It's just literally just write it all down in your notes section so you never forget anything, like what you did with water, what you did with food. You know, I literally like add my meals in terms of like screenshots. Obviously I've got it all on my log in my Chronometer app, but then I just add it to like a note and like on specific days, and it just helps it all like get out of my head onto a bit of paper, onto a document. I can look back at it, I can make tweaks. I've got all my other bits from different shows just like that, and it's just so useful to have those bits of data. Oh, We're almost there. Fuck off. And yes, guys, it makes absolutely zero difference. 0.5 grams of a banana. But it satisfies me, at least. And I'm sure for a lot of other people, it satisfies you as well. I'll tell you what, like, spending some time with Ben in Spain did help me a bit in some aspects, like, realise that you can be quite relaxed and still be of a really high level. But every time I try to be like that, it just doesn't feel normal for me. It doesn't feel nice. So the bottom line is, like, do what feels good for you. So if for you, what feels good is like being quite anal and OCD about what you do that. If for you that stresses you out, don't do it. You've got to find what works for you. Bottom line. I know we say this time and time again, but people still don't get it because they don't do these things. They enforce themselves to be like someone else. Like, some of you might watch this and be like, right, I would like to achieve some of the things that AJ's achieved, so I've got to be like him. And that's not the truth. You don't need to be like me to achieve similar things to me. You need to take some inspiration. You need to find some things that you like about the way that I operate, and then maybe implement them for yourself. But you don't need to be exactly like me. You can do it your way. You always think like 20 grams of honey isn't that much, and then you like put it on something. It's quite a bit of honey, really. So as part of MBW, I set up a private WhatsApp chat. So it was created the week before the PCA to follow my peak week, and it's gone into this week as well. Obviously, when you join a WhatsApp chat, you can't see all the previous conversation, but I'm going to use it as a open community for asking questions about my prep, like directly in the chat, and I'll be getting back to them with voice notes individually, post contest, and also documenting a little bit my reverse on there as well, just to add a little bit more value and chat back and forth with some people. That's not super easy to do on the forum. The forum obviously stays what it is, it still stays there, but you can find the access link to this WhatsApp chat in my log on MBW. So all you have to do is sign up, and then you can get straight in. You could literally just sign up for a month. So you could pay just $9.99, do 1 month on MBW. If you don't want to stay there, it's no problems. If you do, great, because I think it's personally a great place to stay. And yeah, we'll use this chat for at least the next couple of weeks. And then I'll see what function I want to utilize it in the future. But it's great. We've got a really nice little community. I did have the chat open, like, so people could chat back and forth originally, and I will open that back up for questions, but I had to shut it down because there was so many questions coming through. So it's now just me talking and like voice noting and stuff like that, and sending in pictures. So but yeah, you can see it here. So we've got 115 members in the chat, and then I just post like my food, some of my pictures, what I'm doing, my game plan, and then people can like just, obviously you can react. But yeah, this is my voice note, cover some topics. So good stuff. All right, what is it? 5 a.m. Let's get this meal down, chill for a bit, do a little bit of work, pose, get the second meal ready, and then it'll be off to get tan, and then shortly after that I'll be on stage. Yeah, this morning's gonna go very fast. Gotta enjoy it.
This is so fucking cool.
It's good too.
Yeah.
Sit back. I'm so fucking bad though.
Oh, dude.
So that is the top coat of tan on, and I'm feeling very good this morning. Very happy with the look, very happy with how last night went in terms of the last couple of meals. I feel
quite energetic at this point in the day in general, which is so nice. I'm not gonna lie, and Alex will know, like, especially from yesterday, I just really crash hard in the evening. Like, when we arrived at Airbnb, I really did crash. So to actually be in a position where I feel good coming into a show day morning is beautiful. Not long until I be on stage, and the energy levels are really high. So I had that first meal. Body weight before that meal was 152.6. Body weight after the meal was like 153.6, so a pound up, which is pretty normal from a meal like that. And I think I want to just kind of be probably closer to like 153ish on stage. So all that I need to do now is, well, I like just keeping a little bit of movement in, so keeping a little bit of movement in, and then I think I'm just gonna literally do a little bit of dark chocolate just to keep my blood glucose stable, so I don't like dump and like have a low blood sugar moment, because I also had a GDA with that first meal. So I'll probably do 20 grams of dark chocolate with a little bit of salt, and then my final bits of water will be kind of like backloaded relatively close to the stage, like about 30 minutes out. 500 mils of water, and trained by JP's pumpage, you use code AJ10, and we'll do 2 massive scoops of that is ready to go. It's loaded up. This is nice. Yeah, we'll get on stage and we'll do the business. Can't wait. Listen.
Yeah, sharper, yeah.
You hear that? Especially around my midriff is sharp.
Your midriff, oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I like that.
When did you notice him starting to shift from motorsport into fitness?
It's a good point actually, because it was a running out of money thing, certainly from our point of view as a family. Motorsport requires huge amounts of money, and we could only get so far, and so there needed to be another vent for his competitive spirit, and that's the bit that I didn't see coming, because something tweaked in him to think, okay, there's a route through bodybuilding to be competitive. Yeah, didn't see it coming at all. He's just done really well at it, and importantly, he's done it himself. He's done it under his own steam, whereas, you know, I've known people who've been given a bit of a hand up in things, or put into a situation which was advantageous for them, but not of their doing. You know, you cannot argue with the fact that he's done it all under his own steam.
It's very easy to look from the outside in and think that he has been gifted everything that he has, but he hasn't, and I'm teaching him to try and own that a little bit more and not like hide away the car and things like that, because he doesn't want people to think that he's showing off, because that's the type of person he is. He's the type of person who didn't share his car because he doesn't want people to think that he's trying to show off about things that he's actually just worked really hard for, and I have to try and convince him and remind him that he has worked for everything that he has. He's been bodybuilding for a really long time. He puts in the hours, the time, the dedication to his work, to bodybuilding, that people don't see, that only I see. So he's earned everything that he has, and that's inspirational for so many people. I think that's what sets him apart, is that he doesn't claim to be the natty goat. He doesn't claim to be this genetic freak who's like the best of the best. He just claims to be the hardest worker and somebody who is relentless at the things that he do, and he wants to set that as an example for everyone else as well.
Mindset into the final show, I knew I was going to bring my best look because I gathered so much data from all the other shows, different looks. I was happy with how I looked at the PCA, but wanted to come in significantly sharper for this one. I had the peaking plan to make that happen, and I just executed it. You know, it was really a pretty chilled week of training. It was very relaxed. It was very easy. I hate to say it, but I could see the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of having the pressure off my shoulders with shows. When you're in the midst of a season, you never fully relax. You're always thinking about the next show. I said obviously after Half England it was better. It was, but it wasn't totally relaxed. And I was also just genuinely excited for the weekend, you know, spending time with Loz, spending time with my dad. I knew it was going to be a great weekend, so that was kind of the mindset going into the last one for sure. Honestly, like going through my mind before this last show, I'd already seen the pictures that we took one day out, the pictures we took of the show day morning. I knew I was going to present my best, but you never really know. Like, for competitors that are watching this, you'll be backstage, and even if someone takes a picture for you or your coach says you look great, you'll be looking down at body parts, you'll be looking down at your abs, you'll be looking down at your legs, you'll be feeling your glutes. You're trying to find something that's off because you're always aware and critical of your own physique. And I hit a few shots for Loz and she was like, no, great, you know, you look perfect.
Number 341, AJ Morris.
Let's go!
Relax, face back. Back double bicep. Relax, Rick. Relax. 341, 339, switch.
Let's go, AJ, let's go! Perfect.
Face the back, back double bicep. Gentlemen, most muscular.
Let's go, AJ, straight in.
Excellent job, great class. Thank you, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause, please, for your open runner-up is athlete number 339, Angelo Rossi. Meaning that our winner moving into the overall today is athlete number 341, AJ Morris.
Yeah, let's go!
Ladies and gents, let's have a round of applause, please, for your open lightweight winner, AJ Morris.
So on stage, in my class, obviously there was 3 guys. We did our comparisons. I felt very, very happy with the look from what I could feel when I was posing. Moved us around a little bit. By this point, my posing fitness and my ability to, you know, I could have done 10, 12 more rounds and it would have been no problems. So on stage, I felt very, very good. Most of the crowd noise when I came out was for me, which was nice because I had a good little support network there. Yeah, it felt good. It felt good to be on stage. I really love being on stage, you know. Like, I tell you what, it took me the heart of England to realize, oh shit, I really like being on stage. I really like the actual competing element of bodybuilding. Some people don't. Some people just love the training. Of course, I love the training. Like, training is, for me, is everything. It's better than the stage. If you gave me 2 options, stage or training, I'd take training all day. But I do really like competing. Funnily enough, backstage, I asked how many classes there were before me, and they said 7, and I was like, no way, like there's no way there's 7 before lightweight. They had me actually registered as a light heavyweight. So they had me in the 80 kilo and above category, so 11 kilos heavier than I weighed in. That would not have been good because I would not have done very well in that class. There was some absolute monsters in that class. Backstage, I was seeing some of these guys pump up, so I was like, I was honestly just excited to get some pictures next to them.
number 343, Nicholas Albert.
And there are some pictures in the overall, like side chest, side tricep, where I'm somewhat comparable. But there's other shots, pretty much all the others, where I'm not, and I need to be better. Any show like that, it's an opportunity for me to just get my hat in the ring against people that are inherently carrying more muscle. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I want to be competitive against those people. I will be competitive against those people. It is a matter of time. It's a matter of time. And I know with my work ethic, I know with how I do things, I know I can catch up.
Great way to finish.
I'd love to know how close it was in the overall.
Not very.
Not at all.
Not very, mate.
I wouldn't
Not
say
very.
so.
Well done.
Yeah, that's
Does anybody
top
get
tier.
to see that?
What's that?
Do you ever get to see the
feedback.
point?
Love you, bro.
Yeah, they'll probably.
Oh, I can ask, but
Yeah.
the asking is not really in my interest because
No.
I know the answer. It's,
Right, okay.
Yeah, you need different parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Dad. Seriously. But no, that's not the whole answer. I mean, more muscle is 100% the answer.
Yeah.
But to win an overall as a lightweight is very difficult.
Yeah.
I'm giving up 15 kilos probably.
Yeah.
At
least. Yeah.
And that guy is incredibly good.
Yeah.
Incredibly good. He will go very, very far in pro divisions. And that's where I also saw in the pro lineup, like the more muscle.
Yeah.
That's what I need. And then next time compete in potentially lineups where I can be in pro divisions that have a weight cutoff.
Yeah.
So I can weigh in under 70 kilos, be at the top end of a pro division in a weight cutoff, and then we're talking.
Yeah.
The thing that strikes me the most about guys that are that big is like their kind of calmness.
Yeah.
They're so calm and relaxed all the time. They usually grow up in like hotter, more relaxed, maybe like more compromised countries where they get a better perspective on life and they complain less and they don't have like social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they end up being freaks of nature because that changes your like physiological setup as well as having the hard work that he obviously has.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, good. Good then.
It's my philosophical chat over.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. That is that's this season wrapped up. That was a good showing. I was really happy with that. Really happy with how I looked. Definitely one of the better looks of the season from what I've seen of the pictures so far. So I couldn't be happier.
Was there a highlight moment from the weekend that will stick with you?
Yeah, actually going out for dinner afterwards with Alex, with Loz, with my dad, having my phone away and having some just generally really good chats. I chatted with my dad about things that I hadn't chatted with him in the last like 4 or 5 years, like memories of me and my mum. Yeah, it was just really nice. And it's funny, like my dad is a man of very, very few words. It's the type of guy that you'll send him a message on WhatsApp and he will not reply to the message but react with a thumbs up. He does not really say anything, and that's not a problem. I love him, and I don't mind that he's that way. He actually got home and he sent me like probably one of the longer messages that I've received. Like it was like 3 lines rather than like 1 word, about how he just had such an amazing weekend and that he's like he said that he's really proud of me and stuff. And yeah, I felt really fulfilled.
I'd just like to say, I am truly, really proud of him for what he's achieved and also what he's brought to the sport in general. So he's not just a competitor now. He's actually making a contribution to a scene which I've gradually grown to like and admire. And so I'm really proud of that.
As much as he is AJ, and I talk about how much he inspires me as a bodybuilder, he is also my partner, and I am also immensely proud of him. And in that sense, as his girlfriend, to see him achieve what he has achieved and to see him go through what he does, I'm very grateful to have somebody like that in my life, and have the person that I love the most also be somebody who inspires me in all areas as well.
Shows are not just about medals, trophies, placings. Make your shows about the people that you get to spend time with, and make your shows about a reflection of your and an ability to look back and be proud of your hard work. You know, it's been maybe decades of work that you've put in to get to that point. Allow yourself to spend that moment, to be proud and to sit fulfilled, regardless of what 6 people on a judging panel tell you you've placed. Have that opportunity to be proud of yourself. That's one of the biggest tips and bits of advice that I can give to any athletes that are competing this year. It goes without saying that the support that I get from Loz is above and beyond anything else that I get. However, I've had amazing support from a lot of different avenues. I can't tell you how beneficial it is to have someone that can take a really good picture and just fill you full of confidence. And even if the pictures make you look 5% better than you actually are, I don't think they do. I think they're just an honest representation, because I've looked at pictures and looked at how I looked on stage, and they're both pretty similar. Having that is a massive confidence builder. And you see it with top Olympians as well. They have top videographers with them for a reason, to capture content and to also instill confidence. So Alex has been fundamental on that front for sure. I've had incredible support from my client base, from Ben Howard especially. He always pops in a message and just tells me, like, keep going, or, you know, you're going to smash it this weekend. And he's come to my shows. And I've had a lot of clients come to shows. Charlie specifically, who made the trip all the way up to Coventry, and then a week later came down to Maidenhead. He's a legend for doing that, and it means a lot to have people like that are willing to go the extra mile just to come and cheer my name and support me. I'm blessed, you know, and every client check-in that I do, congrats on your shows or best of luck for your shows. So it is a privilege to lead from the front. It's a privilege to show them the way, in a way, you know. So yeah, huge support. Physically, I felt really trashed the last week. I just felt pretty beaten up from doing 2 shows in a row. Coming around to right now, I feel awesome because I'm riding off a really great adrenaline. I've got a lot of things to look forward to with clients. I've got a holiday coming up with Loz to Marbella, going to take a bit of time off work. Beautiful, bellissimo. 2021. And I took like 3-4 days off, but I was also in New York on a city break. So you're doing like 25K steps, and it's not really a break. And I feel also very excited to show how to execute a post-show window, because a lot of people talk about how it's a lot tougher than the contest prep, and for a lot of people it really is. For me, I've always thought that post-show is just an extension of prep. You have to view it that way, because if you don't view it as an extension of contest prep, you will really struggle, because you need, basically, to do it well, you need all of the same routines.
You could go back and give yourself advice at the start of this season. What would you say to yourself?
The funny one is, I'd say get a coach. I know it's funny because, like, I do view myself as very good at coaching myself. Very good. I'm very proud of what I achieved this year. But I know I could be better. I know I could be better with someone in my corner, just giving me the shots, and especially the gap between the Worlds and the MK, where I lost quite a lot of weight quite fast. That was in some ways necessary to bring in the final bits of condition, but that should have been done at a point in time where I was not in between shows. If I had to say something to myself, it would just be like, just put your trust in someone that you really trust. Even if it's just a bit of back and forth, just do that, because it's going to benefit you. It's going to really benefit you. And I need to stick to that, stick to my guns on that front, because there's only so much that I can expect Loz to give me without it actually compromising and putting stress on our relationship, which is not fair. I actually do rank myself highly as a coach. I'd just say, just get someone in your corner, man. Just do it. So next plans are, at the moment, obviously it's the transition into the off season. I'd like to stay leaner in the off season. I'd like to see how lean I can stay whilst getting normalcy back, which is basically returning to a good physiological state, either through symptomatic assessment, so, you know, testosterone, libido, hunger hormones, power and energy in the gym, sleep, and also blood work. Probably take blood work in the next 2 to 3 months, see where things are at. You know, immediately post-show, it's not going to be fantastic. So 2 to 3 months, see where it's at. Push body weight up steadily, get probably a maximum of 15 to 20 pounds above stage weight. I think that's where I'm going to operate my best. I think that's where I'm going to get some good work done. I'd like to do that over the next 30 to 40 weeks, which will bring me to about April of next year. In April of next year, mid to late April, it's either going to be a transition into a small diet and we'll go again into another gaining stint, or it's going to be a contest prep. I would really like to prep next year. I really would. I think part of the reason behind that is I've found out how much I love competing. I think with competing in the early stint of this year, it's possible to make next year at the back end happen. It will be the second year of running the MBW. There's some aspects of me being in prep that actually makes me more efficient. I get up earlier, I get more work done. There's a lot of things that actually improve in my life when I'm in a contest preparation period and when I'm also not pushing really heavy body weights. Yeah, that's kind of the game plan. So like I said, that will mean maybe hooking up with this ex-coach pretty soon, just to get their opinion on how my timeline that I've planned out looks, and then go from there, and then get cracking, because yeah, it's going to be a case of applying myself more than ever, like working harder than ever the next 30 to 40 weeks to make improvements and to be better. But when you break it down, 40 weeks is quite a long time. It's almost a year in a slow, steady surplus. And if I can't make improvements in that period of time, then what am I doing, you know? Then I really need to reassess my approach, because I should make improvements in that span of time, especially with coming out of a prep where, yes, hormonally you're not in a great spot, but body fat wise, insulin sensitivity wise, and all of these things that can promote a good environment for growth are actually in a really good spot. So that's the game plan for now, but that may pivot, that may change. I may compete in 27, but for now we're just going to get head down, enjoy the hell out of training, which I did today, loving my sessions at the moment, and yeah, enjoy the process. My biggest tip is stay present, stay in the moment. The difficulty that a lot of competitors have is they're always thinking about the next day. They're always thinking about how many weeks out they are. They're always thinking about the next meal, the next workout, or they're clock watching. All of these things, they're so future focused. Don't be future focused, be present. And if that means that you have periods of time where, honestly, one of the best things for me to be present has been reading my books. I've read more books this prep than I've read in my entire life. Genuinely, hands down. It's been so helpful for me to just sit there with, you know, an Americano, read a book, and actually just sit there with the words of the book for a moment. Because I am a person that is very, as you can probably tell, very go, 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 very adrenaline fueled, very passionate. And for me to slow down, it's very difficult. But reading has helped me a lot. I know it sounds quite philosophical, that advice, but I really do mean it. Find something that helps you be present, whether it's meditation, deep breathing, whether it's having a bath, whether it's going in a sauna, whether it's reading a book, whatever it is, find your thing that gets you to be really present. And that will help you dramatically in terms of managing stress levels, enjoying the process, and realizing your hard work more, because when you're so future focused, you never truly realize what you're actually achieving. And that's a big problem, because then you're always chasing something, and you know, if you're chasing and chasing and chasing, it's a tricky situation to ever have that moment where you are proud, that moment where you do reflect, and being present helps you get closer towards that. So I just wanted to finish this off with a huge thank you to everyone that has supported these YouTube videos, this prep. The support, the comments, the likes, even some of the bad comments, been fantastic. I will really look forward to documenting the off-season, because we are going to, of course, be bringing plenty of off-season content to the channel, whether it be vlogs, travel, you know, loads of different things. We've got a lot of things coming up. We're obviously going to be documenting the MBW International show, which is coming up in October. And if you are a competitor that is competing this year, you're from any different country, or you're from the UK. If you're from the UK, all you have to do is do the UK DFBA show, the UK finals. That's in September. That's all you have to do. And then you're immediately qualified to do the MBW. If you're international, all you have to do is just enter. And if you're from Ireland, you have to do the MBFI show before you come across and do the MBW. It's my first ever show that I'm going to be promoting. We're already just over 100 entries, so it's going to be a really good show. There's going to be a lot of competitors and a lot of a lot of high standard in the class. So I really would love to see you there, even if you just want to come and support and just see bodybuilding, see natural bodybuilding. You could also come down, spend a weekend in Sheffield, train at Ultraflex for a week, and then come to the MBW show and meet a lot of like-minded people, because there's going to be a lot of people there that are not even competing, that are heavily involved in natural bodybuilding. It's going to be a truly special weekend, so can't wait for that. But yeah, we got lots coming. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this process. Comment below MBW if you made it to the end, and if you're not already, please subscribe, because we want to keep growing this channel, and we put a lot of effort into these videos, and it really helps us grow it more when we get people subbing. So appreciate you guys, and yeah, peace out. See you soon.